Why is it hard to analyze multi-ethnic diversity accurately? Imagine trying to put together a giant puzzle where some pieces can change shape and color depending on who is looking at them. That's similar to what researchers face when they try to understand the ethnic makeup of the United States. The challenge starts with how race and ethnicity are not fixed categories but social ideas that shift over time. For example, the way the government asks about race has changed many times. In 1930, there was a Category 4 Mexican, but it was only in 1980 that the census asked about Hispanic origin, and even that question has been updated over the years. This makes comparing data from different years tricky because the questions and categories are not always the same. Another big issue is that many people identify with more than one race or ethnicity. Since the year 2000, the census has allowed people to pick multiple races, which has led to more reports of multiracial identities. But not everyone reports the same way every time they take a survey. For instance, only about 40% of people who said they were of more than one race in the year 2000 said the same in a follow-up survey. This inconsistency makes it hard to get a clear picture of how many multiracial people there really are. The way questions are asked also matters a lot. If the survey combines questions about race and Hispanic origin or separates them, it can change how people respond. Sometimes, people refuse to answer or leave questions blank, which means statisticians have to guess what their answers might be. When the census or the American Community Survey changes how they ask questions, it can cause sudden jumps or drops in the reported numbers for certain groups. These shifts are often due to how the questions are asked, rather than actual changes in the population. Small groups like Native Americans, Alaska Natives, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders are especially hard to analyze because their numbers are small. This makes it difficult to get enough data to understand their experiences fully. When groups are tiny, it's harder to break down the data into smaller parts, like different national origins or languages, which are very important for understanding diversity within broad categories like Asian or Hispanic. Another problem is that broad categories hide a lot of differences. For example, Asian Americans include people from China, India, the Philippines, and many other countries. Their histories, languages, and lives can be very different. Without detailed data on these subgroups, analysis can miss important facts about their unique challenges and successes. But gathering such detailed information is tough because of survey limits and privacy rules. Social and political changes also influence how people see and report their identities. Attitudes about race and ethnicity can shift, and policies can change how categories are defined or used. This makes it harder to compare data collected at different times or from different sources because the context keeps changing. All these factors mean that trying to measure and understand the true diversity of the United States is a complex task. It requires careful interpretation of data, ongoing improvements in how surveys are designed, and a recognition that some of what we see in numbers might be influenced by how questions are asked or how people choose to identify. The diversity is real, but capturing it accurately in numbers takes a lot of effort and attention to detail.